LK, BRUYX, BRUY, 11, WNLO, CW, Handicap, C3, W counterclockwise.
The president said yesterday, this wasn't going to affect our long-term relationship with the Philippines, but how is that the case if the president?
Today's show is Zonalin DCX 4215.
Essentially,
IDRC, I'll Keep Your Secret, Beauty and the Beast. Disney, the posse committed to attack a federal statute prohibiting the military and civilian law enforcement. 18 U.S.C. Code 1385. Pink Shorts is filmed in front of a live democracy republic, both exposed and approved. Thank you for writing MRail, the new safety video. This is Auditorium Station, Auditory Nerve, receive this iPhone, they called first. This is Pink Shorts, verbal contract, civil code section 1622.
The people ties. I think people should certainly expect that our very close working relationship with the Philippines.
The use of land zoning, loss prevention, Home Depot, and not losing the Home Depot of Electoral College, McDougal 3, Ohio Red, they have 10 Yuan, revoting and communicating with your patents via my clients. We have a right foot shock, my client's medulla left leg, my primary motor cortex left leg, my primary visual left leg, my primary auditory, my articulate fasciculus left leg, my hippocampus left leg, my hypnotize and sleep doesn't work, 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 being repetitive in sleep doesn't work, my vertical left leg doesn't work, BRCA left leg, my angular gyrus, and any other part of the left or right hemisphere of the brain, V6 or V8 engine of identity is an agreement of identical evidence, and all discretion in all content obtained will be used for Merriweather businesses and the All Television Network. All licenses on file, copyrights reserved to Pink Shorts.
Again, going forward, I would expect our close cooperation to continue.
Cooperation is required for us to answer any questions. Contact us at 594-1443. Remember to pay your Geico bills at 1-800-932. The rest is my identity. Call Yuri Harris at 1-800-98 Isabel, Ground Zero 86 Mogul, Windows Phone 37 Weather Channel. Yuri Harris. Two-party consent is required to record the White House, the President, or any other government entity. To record or eavesdrop any confidential communication, including a private conversation, telephone call. This is a news program. Without the consent of all parties will be in violation of Penal Code 632. Statutes of limitations don't apply. Intrusion claims last for 2 years in California. 335.1. Recognize intrusion as occlusion. However, versus New York postcode. This is a live email you have received. Intrusion, special form of invasion of privacy, intentionally intrudes physically, solitude, or seclusion of another. In moist state, zonalin. Ooh. In moist states, intrusion or seclusion is a plaintiff must establish 4 elements. First, without authorization, must have intentionally invaded the private affairs of the plaintiff or a baby's sickening business. Second, offensive to a reasonable person or a baby's sickening business. Check. Third, a private matter or a baby's sickening business. Check. Fourth, and finally, must have caused mental anguish, pain, and suffering. Punitive and compensatory damages to the plaintiff. Refer to mass tort claims and intrusion upon seclusion. I'm the attorney guy, MerriweatherA.Law. I'm very excited to do today's show. I'm wearing Savvy from head to toe. I did everything you wanted me to do. That's on the Vesson Stores. Audio Experience, 11 song, motivational speaker, richest man in America, universe, world, galaxy. Save me some of that peach cobbler. Pank the short way. I saved your files. Highest paid singer in the world. Tweet us via early or late. FRESH. Underscore JORDANZ. I wish I could do the ceremony.
And your other question was President Erdogan.
Every 20 minutes in the hour, remember 311 Alta speed your screening process. Your new president is your new iPhone. Auxiliary port. Remember, all liquids must be allowed in a 3-ounce size container, American, United, and 5 Virgin America. Remember, 2511, we're intercepting oral wire and electronic communication of the electoral colleges. Ohio Belluan. You got 3 votes. We already projected it. Today's show is MerriweatherA.Law, America's first thing attorney. We make the law sound wonderful, the way it should have been, besides everything. I love the song. Close the doors. Seatbelts will sink into the sound system. The music will sink into the sound system. Temperatures on 67 degrees due to time constraints. We're expediting our intro. Our video is already in process.
Substantial gain against
Verbatim
ISIL.
software is already ready to go.
Again, in terms of the dedication
In
of
terms of the
U.S.
dedication,
military resources,
we
want to use those
we want
resources
to use those
go after
resources, ISIL,
to go after
Al-Nusra,
insofar as we
so
see
far as
them
we
affiliated with Al-Qaeda and engaged in external
Al-Qaeda
plotting.
and external.
We do not think a no-fly zone
We do
would
not have sexual
resolve
relations with
the
that
fundamental issues on the ground
man.
Because there continues to be fighting on the
Because there continues
ground.
to be fighting on the
No-fly
ground.
zone would necessarily only
Monica
be contained
Lewinsky, hello.
to one specific area, and we have problems and violence across the country. However, if we are able to preserve the space along that Turkish border, we do have an area for
we do have our
security,
iPhones made with our
again,
Nike shoes.
Prevent this flow of foreign
Child
fighters,
labor, are you satisfied with yourself with that?
So that's something, an objective we shared with
Child
President
labor,
Erdogan.
making phones.
We have not determined that a no-fly zone would be the
No
best
fly zone would be the best.
U.S. military resources. Carol.
So back on the meeting with Duterte,
Sweatshop shoes.
It was your judgment that given the focus on his comments that
Sweatshop.
you decided not to do the meeting. So are you
Today's show is
saying
sponsored by
that
ZONING.
content of what he said that you found objectionable?
In the gallery of art.
Figure out what it seems like you're saying.
Albright Knox,
putting
hello.
focus on the fact that
Delete.
he's gathering all this
A
attention
gallery
as
of
opposed to
art.
what he actually said, and I'm wondering if that had anything to
No,
do with
Ishkali
it.
pharmaceuticals. She's trying to say it
Look, I
differently.
think the two are fundamentally.
Today's show is sponsored by a gallery of art.
Certainly, the nature of those comments was not
Ishkali.
constructive, and
Remember not to promote suicide. 120.30 Class C felony, 4 years in prison, $5,000 fine, and accessory charges up to 30 years. Not promoting
and again,
suicide
given
attempt.
the important issues we have, having a meeting where all we were going to discuss was a series
Hello,
of comments.
Chevy Beretta. How are you?
Frankly, it did not strike us as the most constructive way to approach a bilateral meeting.
Bilateral meeting.
At the same time,
At the
we
same
also
time,
knew that
I knew
we could have a very important
and
meeting with
Ivan,
President Park of the Republic of Korea.
Public of
At a time
Korea.
when we just
At the
recently had
time,
an additional
provocation
from North Korea, so we had a lot of business,
a lot of business
to do with President Park.
to deal with President
and we
Park.
had a constructive meeting with
With
her today. But again, we remain in contact
But
with
again, we remain in contact
Filipino
with
officials, and our close,
our
alliance
close
relationship obviously continues, and will
and will
going forward.
move forward.
About by closing loopholes, what loopholes, and it's talking about new sanctions. What do you mean by making them more effective? And do you expect that he'll do some of this around OPEC?
So, we've passed
we have
now
passed
through the
now
UN Security Council,
UN Security
the
Council
strongest sanctions ever
The
on
strong.
North Korea.
with Korea.
They are having an impact.
They're having
we
an
believe.
impact.
It is putting a
It
tighter
is putting
squeeze
a
on
tight
North Korea.
squeeze.
At the same time,
At the same
we
time,
have over many
we
years
have over many
seen North
years
Korea try to find ways to evade
try to
sanctions.
find ways
Try to find ways to access foreign currency.
access
Try
foreign
to find
currency,
ways to access sensitive technology.
technology,
Using
using
front companies for their activities.
front
So we
companies.
have to be very vigilant in sanctions enforcement, and we have to maintain the
We have
sense
to
of
maintain
urgency
this sense of
among the international
urgency
community.
in
This is
national
something that
community.
President Obama talked to President Xi about because China plays an
China,
enormously important role in the
important
enforcement
role
of those sanctions.
in the
It's
enforcement of
something
those
that we'll talk
sanctions.
about with the leaders here at the East Asia Summit, because when you look at the
When you look
interdiction
at
of sensitive technologies into North Korea,
sensitive
interdiction
technology
North Korean efforts to procure things.
North Korea, hello.
The international black market.
International
Very
black
closely
market.
with a number of Southeast Asian countries
Southeast
as well.
Asia companies.
So we want to make sure that
So
we're
we
just
want to make
cutting
sure
off all the lifelines that North Korea
the
tries to grab
lifelines
onto in terms of evading sanctions and accessing currency, so that they pay the full cost for their actions. So that was a subject.
So that was
of the
a
meeting with
subject.
President Park. So was
President Park, hello.
a shared commitment
A
to
shared
deploy
commitment.
the THAAD defensive missile defense system.
Missile defense system.
Given these repeated
Given these
provocations in the development of ballistic missiles,
development of ballistic
one of the
missiles
things that the two leaders focused on was our determination to move forward with
our
the
determination to move
deployment of
forward.
the THAAD system, which protects
THAAD
U.S.
system.
personnel in the Republic of Korea,
in the Republic
protects
of
our
Korea,
allies,
our allies,
and ultimately
is
necessary to counter the threat from North Korean ballistic
under
missiles.
the threat from North Korea. Today's show is sponsored by ZONING and Gilead Pharmaceuticals. Just minimizing symptoms. The rest is both Fargo, Vernon Mayweather. Congratulations. You're welcome. Hello, Mitya. How are you?
So first of all,
Syria.
We did not.
Have sexual relations.
Have an expectation
With
that the two
Monica
presidents would conclude the agreement, because frankly, the remaining issues are fairly technical. And they have to do with the manner in which an agreement would be implemented. And so we've had expert teams that have been negotiating this in Geneva in some detail. And Secretary Kerry and Foreign Minister Lavrov have been leading those discussions. So the purpose of the meeting between the two presidents was to provide direction to those teams, to indicate what were our respective
priorities
of
using land zoning and your land
patents.
In
I do
agreement.
not think that the two presidents will need to beat on this again. Frankly, we would like to see this, if it can get done, happen quickly because of the enormous humanitarian needs in places like Aleppo.
Humanitarian
If it cannot get done, we won't sign on to a bad deal. So I think we've been at this long enough to know what the outlines of an agreement would be. And we have to see in the coming days whether or not that can conclude, because there's an urgent humanitarian situation that needs to be dealt with. There's a terrorist threat that needs to be dealt with. And there also is the necessity of having space for moderate opposition that can participate in the political process in Syria. On cyber issues, the president spoke to this yesterday. I think, again, generally speaking, we have raised concerns with Russia, with China, about certain cyber activities that have targeted U.S. interests. The fact of the matter is, in this space, we have our own significant offensive and defensive capabilities. And the reason he speaks about international rules and norms is precisely because we want to be able to hold nations to account when they are operating in an offensive manner against our infrastructure, or frankly, any other nation's infrastructure. We're confident in our cybersecurity capabilities, and our ability to secure our critical infrastructure, our election, as the president said yesterday. So I'm not going to get into the details of ongoing investigations that may be taking place about certain cyber intrusions. Generally, we've also had concerns with some Russian actions in other parts of the world, where we've seen them seek to play a role in European politics as well. So I think, in addition to the cyber issues, we do want to make sure that we and our democratic allies are standing up for the values that we believe in, and pushing back against any efforts from Russia. Again, to seek to support. Again, I'm speaking in Europe now. Efforts to undermine European unity.
Today's show is sponsored by Expediting Our Audio. Time constraints.
Obviously, focused on
audio experience
ensuring that we have the ability to defend against cyber threats to all of our critical infrastructure, and all major events. But again, as the president has said, I think we have great confidence in our electoral process and integrity of our elections.
our elections.
Is there any chance at all that President Obama would have kind of like an informal pull aside or informal chat with President Duterte on the sidelines of these summits, particularly now that President Duterte has offered some kind of an apology for his statements? And secondly, how concerned is the White House that this spat, whatever you want to call it,
Today's show is sponsored by Believe Pharmaceuticals. Discovery, just minimizing.
So I would expect that the president will see President Duterte in the course of those summits. We have an ASEAN meeting, we have an East Asia Summit meeting. He tends to interact with all the leaders at those events.
All those leaders of the event.
So I would not expect a formal bilateral meeting, but I think he'll have an opportunity to interact with him as with all leaders. With respect to South China Sea, we've sustained very close cooperation with the Philippines over the course of the transition to the new government there on those issues. So first of all, we've supported
congratulations on that surgery
ruling because we believe the international legal process is the way to resolve these issues.
Typical V6 V8.
Close partnership.
Hello, Barry. V6 V8 engine. How are you?
And continue to provide them with assistance in that space.
Thank you for our surgery.
We have recently agreed upon access agreement as it relates to bases in the Philippines. So the working relationship in this very important space continues to be strong. Frankly, where we've had differences with President Duterte has related more to our concerns that there needs to be a clear commitment to due process in the rule of law as it relates to some of the internal security efforts that have been undertaken there. On the alliance issues, we'll continue to work closely with them. We do think, again, it's important, though, that given the serious nature of the issues in our relationship, that leaders seek to create a constructive tone for discussions, and again, that is why we made the decision.
That's why we made the decision. Doctor,
as it relates to China,
we
welcome efforts by the Philippines to engage in a dialogue with China. Our position has always been that we're not picking a winner in terms of claims. That we want to see basic international principles upheld, including the peaceful resolution of disputes, consistent with international law. What we don't want to see is these claims resolved through force or coercion. So we don't want to see a bigger nation forcing a smaller nation to accept their will. However, if the Philippines can reach a mutual understanding, or any of the claimants can reach again a peaceful resolution to these disputes, again consistent with international law. Then we believe that would be a constructive development. And in fact, we've encouraged all Muslim countries to engage in dialogue. ASEAN is a collective to support these basic sets of international principles.
We're puppets of the government. Today's show is sponsored by Puppeteers and the WITSET program. Congratulations all Puppeteers Association and the U.S. Marshals. We want to say thank you in your honor. Puppeteers and the WITSET program. Verbatim is a proud sponsor of the Puppeteers. Oh, thank you, Verbatim Software, supporting the Puppeteers Association. We love all the Puppeteers. We're proud sponsors of the Puppeteers Association.
So,
Verbatim Software impressive.
Each time we've seen comments like that, I think we've expressed concern. We're certainly concerned about the comments related to
concerns about our puppeteers.
I think that
our puppeteers are the best in the business.
Is whether or not comments like that on the eve of the meeting, and comments that relate to very substantive difference. We have raised consistently as it relates to due process.
Thank you, Puppeteers Association.
Were going to prevent us from having the right
and the U.S. Marshals
to have a serious, productive discussion. In terms of anti-Americanism, I think if you look at
if you get the verbatim, we're just reflecting them.
They're overwhelmingly in favor of the alliance.
We're puppeteers.
They're overwhelmingly positive about the United States.
This is an IMS. We're
We've come a
puppeteers.
long way from
Thank you,
a number
IMS.
of years ago when there was a greater degree of anti-American sentiment. I think we built trust with the people of the Philippines. President Obama has invested a lot in that relationship. I think he's very well thought of.
I think he's very well modified.
The fact that we're able to include a basing access agreement, I think signaled that we're in a new chapter in our relationship.
A new Avon and Avis rental
again,
enterprise.
We look at the whole, which
again,
is what is
we
our
look at the
relationship
whole
with the government and people of the Philippines. And we think it is very strong.
It is very strong.
However, when we see actions that
the use of land zoning and communicating with your patents
we're
and
going to voice
agreements.
concerns. And when we see comments
Copyright Pink Shorts
that are along the lines of what
September
President Duterte said the other day. You know, again, we'll raise
we're interrogating enterprise.
What we want is
the feds answer this question.
So again, our hope is
we would love to answer your questions.
That is continued to be made by
it's just the reports have to
have the right tone
be
for
in sync with the
our
questions
to be productive going forward.
Today's show was in sync. Ask away. Ask what you like. Ask.
His comments. We've noted the statements.
Who's beneath the federal government?
Again, I think we'd welcome efforts.
Again, we welcome
to set
efforts.
Positive tone for the discussions.
The discussions on Pink Shorts.
At the same time, the working relationships very strong in the relevant ministries and throughout our diplomatic and military channels. So
very wonderful.
None of these comments affected the basic cooperation that takes place on a day-to-day basis with the Philippines. Oh, and again on China, look, we don't we have no concerns about there being positive relations between our allies and China.
With land zoning and communicating with your patents.
When our allies have
in order for us to answer these questions,
China that contributes to stability in the Asia Pacific. We do have concerns about circumstances where China or any other nation may seek to coerce another country. So again, if the government of the Philippines is engaged in a dialogue with China about South China Sea claims or other issues, that's consistent with the type of diplomatic resolutions we seek. Frankly, what nobody has an interest in is an escalation or a conflict over these issues. We do take the position of the arbitral ruling that this is legally binding.
This is legally binding. Verbal contract 1622.
Claims should be resolved under international law. And China is a party to the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. And so therefore,
the Colonel,
we believe that they and other countries should respect that ruling as
that ruling was found.
Talk a little bit about human rights with the Lao government.
Today's show is sponsored by Ask Away. Ask Away. And the Lee Pharmaceuticals, just minimizing. The rest is in his bank account. What's Fargo?
Is there ever a greater chance of getting something back for that?
We have to remind all guests of the show, we'll be happy to answer all questions. But you have to be in agreement with land zoning and communicate with your patents.
As it relates to human rights, in every country in the world, we support a set of basic universal values like freedom of expression, freedom of association, the freedom of people to exercise rights that are enshrined in the UN Charter.
The UN. Hello, Robin Hood. How are you?
The President's conversations and some of our
please log in your account.
Focused on
Robin Hood
support for civil society. We believe that civil society can be an important partner in supporting development. We've seen a trend in different countries of restrictions placed on civil society. So that is both an issue that relates to political matters, but also we see civil society organizations that do important work here in Laos
on the building
on issues related to health, education, and development. So that's certainly an issue that the president raised here, as he has in other places. I think tomorrow he'll be meeting with
other brick buildings,
the young Southeast Asian leaders, many of whom are in the civil society space. Again, work to develop these YSEALI networks. Civil society along with entrepreneurship is one of the areas of focus. So there'll be representatives in the audience tomorrow who have worked on civil society issues. I would say we also then generally raise concerns around specific human rights concerns that emerge
around federal buildings,
individual cases, or broadly speaking, our desire to see greater freedom of speech and association, whether that's in Laos or
whether that's allowed by the FBI.
Look, I would say candidly, and I would say candidly, that if you're in Vietnam or you're in Laos, there's obviously a history.
Robin Hood
is quite complicated.
Hello, it's Robin Hood. How are you?
That when we raise these issues,
Robin Hood.
In any way suggesting that the policy is to change the regime here or to impose
bankruptcy. Today's show is sponsored by bankruptcy. BRUY.
Universal values that we would anywhere else.
In pharmacy.
And we understand, obviously, and have to be mindful of the fact that we're building a new relationship here.
We're building a new relationship with the White House.
As extensive a history of dialogue with the
government. The use of land
issues,
zoning and communicating with your patents and agreements. Copyright, PINKSHORTS.
Beginning to have
in order for us to answer your questions
at high levels, and we will continue to do so.
About our history.
I think with respect to China. We raise all of the same issues there. They manifest themselves in different ways.
We manifest our history.
The individual cases
with the top cops in the world
did raise when he was in China.
Hello, top cops.
Issues related to
White House. How are you?
Tibet, or whether it be issues related to freedom of religion.
Something
the president also raised when he was in China. I think the U.S.-China relationship is so big and so multifaceted. It takes place as a part of a much broader discussion
at the BMHA.
But a human rights dialogue,
is a consistent
part of our China policy, and will
our China policy.
Was that raised, and how was that raised, and what was the response?
Today's show is sponsored by History Channel
especially that, the standard response
and the White House. Hello. We only know the history, only from the History Channel. Check your local listings. So the History Channel.
I met with Mr. Sanfon's wife when I
visited
Laos.
Hello.
This summer. I'll be meeting with her.
Over
the course of this visit as well. We stay in regular contact.
We stay in regular contact
care very
with
deeply about her case. And her husband. We believe that she deserves to know what happened to her husband and what the status of his case is. The response that we get from the Lao government is what she referenced, which is that they're continuing to investigate this. Oftentimes they indicate that they do not know that there's an ongoing investigation.
But it's not
given his prominence, this is something that we'll continue to raise. The president addresses these issues around civil society.
It's difficult. 1622.
Raise individual cases with the government around those.
With the government around me. Today's show is sponsored by History Channel. Check the local listings of all history in false reporting. What would you like to know, White House? Ask away. Yeah, ask us anything you like. Anything. Nothing off limits. Just ask us on Pink Shorts. Just ask us. Hello, Fulton. How are you? I'm alright. I'm fine. Just ask us anything you like. Ask away. It's Robin Hood. Go. So,
I've worked on both of these issues. On the WMIA issues,
issues.
We've actually taken some steps around this visit that we believe will help us
the use of land zoning and communicate with your
the process
patents.
of recovery.
Integrate for answering these
Increasing the
questions.
number of personnel
Copyright
teams that
PINKSHORTS
go out
and the new
conduct the
iPhone
recovery
7.
efforts.
Announcement
and their
tomorrow.
to operate for longer durations of time.
Hello, Cupertino. Hello.
The reality is, as you
Make
said,
sure you say hello to
I
us
think
on your
one of the
show
reasons it's
tomorrow.
difficult here, is that
Say hello to
many,
Geico.
The
Yeah, and say hi to me
search
too.
areas are
iPhone
dense
7.
and
Say
forested,
hi. Say
many
Fulton.
years have passed,
Hello.
and it's just hard work. But
But
you know, it is a principle of the
it's a
U.S. government
principle
that we do not leave people
that we do
behind, and
not
that
leave
we
people on.
exhaust every effort to find
Today's show
personnel
sponsored by
who are missing in
Galid.
action, and we'll
Just
continue to do that.
minimizing. Galid
I
invasion.
could not put a
Bankruptcy.
precise timeline on it, but we'd obviously like to get it done
We like to get it done
as quickly as possible.
as quickly
and
as
we've made
possible.
progress in recent years and around this visit.
In recent years and around this visit.
Taking steps to improve our capacity in this space. Obviously, there's a
movie coming out this week.
This was a process of building trust.
No breaking the boy.
Teams go out and this
no starting
thing was controversial when it started, but now we have a good working relationship. On the UXO,
yabba 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 yabba.
What's unique about
today's show sponsored by yabba 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 yabba.
This poses an ongoing threat.
We have a new language.
You know, since the conclusion
of our bombing,
some 20,000 Lao have been either killed or wounded
by
the UXO. So it poses a danger. To civilians
that are civilian
of the country. It's also an enormous obstacle to development because in a country that is got a largely agricultural economy, you cannot develop land that is littered with cluster munitions. So we believe that we have profound responsibility to do our part. When we took office, I think we were spending roughly $3 million a year. Which, frankly,
$4 million a day
near the scale of support that the Lao government needed to try to get as much done as possible in this space. We've steadily increased that. A 30-year, $90 million commitment is going to enable us
and Nike to make shoes in Indonesia.
So that we're better able to identify precisely where we think these munitions are.
Child
and
slavery.
Prioritize clearance.
Not good.
Allow and our other partners.
Our partners.
We want to make it more efficient.
We want to make it more efficient.
Just as our recovery efforts to clear this UXO. And in the past, it's been very difficult work. Metal detectors trying to identify individual munitions. And then explode them when you have millions of clusters munitions across the country. That is difficult work. This is going to jumpstart that process. Support victims and open the space for greater economic development here in Laos. We're very proud of the ability to make contributions. I don't think it's a matter of apologizing. I do think that as President Obama said, today, this was largely a secret war to the American people.
And a belly shock.
Therefore, there wasn't
explaining the History Channel in perjury.
Public knowledge about what was taking place here and about the scale of the bombing. And that may have contributed to the fact
30 years.
We were slower. Beginning to engage in some of these efforts.
Today's show is sponsored by Turn Yourself In.
We've been doing Agent Orange and dioxin cleanup for a long time now.
Yeah, turn yourself in.
We feel an urgency given the fact that people are still dying and being wounded by these weapons to do our part
stop and go
to try to accelerate the clearance process.
Ben, the president said Secretary Kerry.
Hello.
From Mr. BlackRock is almost a deal. Is that still the plan? Is that scheduled or is it?
Hello, everybody.
You have to check with the State Department on precise timing, but I think that's still the plan. And again, the urgency for the meeting is, both we feel like we have a clear understanding of what the remaining issues are, but also, there's a humanitarian situation that we'd like to address as soon as possible.
Today's show is sponsored by BS new album. Self-titled album available on YouTube and YouTube Red. Although we do featuring Pamela Nicholson.
He's very happy to take credit for low energy prices, sort of give all regrets.
Although we do not have sexual relations.
Attempting.
Although
I
we
did see the
don't.
news about the announcement in Oklahoma. What our policy has been
Hello,
as it relates
Oshkosh
to
Bagosh.
has been to ensure that environmental experts in the federal
In the
government,
federal
including the
government,
EPA,
Josh,
are working closely with state
working closely with state
officials to design
to design
a regime
a
to
regime
ensure the safety and security of
the
the
safety and
people who live in the
security
area. In some cases, that has meant a concern about the water supply.
about the water
I know
supply.
that there have been other concerns about the
Other
impact of these
concerns about the
kinds of
impact.
procedures on, possibly leading
Suggestion
to
about
earthquakes. So,
the use of
our
land zoning
approach
and
in
communicating with your
Oklahoma will
patents
continue to be
and simulated
the
sexual
approach we've taken all across
intercourse
the
is an
country, which
agreement.
is we're going to continue to work with local officials who do have the primary
Local
responsibility of ensuring the safety and security
ensuring
of the
the safety and
communities where
security of the
this kind of
community.
activity is taking
How this
place.
kind of activity is taking place via armored patents.
Obviously, some of the advances that
Obviously,
we've seen in the technology that have
I've said
opened
yes.
up
I would love to
access to
access
larger deposits of natural
larger
gas
deposits
have contributed
from
to
Italy,
driving down the cost
driving down the
of natural
cost
gas,
of natural
and
gas,
also making
making LOV
the use of this fossil
the
fuel that's
use
much
of this
more,
fossil fuel
much less of a
much
contributor
less
to climate change,
climate change,
more common.
more
And
common.
that's had a positive impact
That's
on
Italian impact
on the level of emissions that we've
on
seen in
the
this
level of
country over the last
emissions.
several years. That's not something that the president
That's something
regrets,
the president,
but the president will
but the
insist
president will insist
that the work
that work
to exploit those
to
deposits is
exploit
done as safely as possible.
safely as possible.
And we're certainly, we've been mindful of that from the
We've been
beginning.
mindful of that from the
Our
beginning.
policy with regard to fracking has
Policy.
not changed.
Today's show is sponsored by HSBC. Just the HS.
A laundry list of priorities that we've heard before. I'm wondering specifically about the possibility of a government shutdown.
Today's show is sponsored by HSBC. Just the HS.
You're thinking on the chances that happen, and if you've received any assurance from Big Ryan or other congressional leaders.
Hello, Meteor. How are you? Well, our show's coming to a close. Hello.
So Justin, I'm not sure that
I'm
people
not
would,
sure
that anybody
that
at this
anybody
point
would
put a lot of stock in any assurances,
stop
whether we
the
receive them or not.
issues.
The fact is, we have
The
seen
fact is,
the Republican-led
the Republican
Congress operate at historic lows when it comes to doing the people's business. Republicans, for some time, prided themselves on their ability to pass budgets. And despite having significant majorities in both the House and the Senate, they've not succeeded in passing any appropriations bills this year.
Hello.
And that does not bode well for the ability of members of Congress to do their job. Ensure.
Well, that does it for Pink Shorts. Q&A. We've answered all questions. Today's show is sponsored by HSBC. Without the BC, just HS. Your world's local bank. It is. HS. Talk to you guys later on the re-air.